Hello everyone, this is Cody from the Rancor's Brothel. Are you looking for dice or accessories for your tabletop gaming? Look no further than Metallic Dice Games, a premium vendor of metallic and gemstone dice. Listeners of this podcast can receive 10% off any purchase anytime by using the promo code RBP10. So head on over to metallicdicegames.com for all your gaming needs. And don't forget to use the promo code RBP10 to save 10% on any purchase. Enjoy the show. The Rancor's Brothel presents... Dungeon Crawl What up, fam? All right, we're recording.
I have questions I should have asked before we got started, but it's all good.
Ask them now.
Such as?
How does personality actually work?
Great question. Look it up.
Think of it as charisma.
Yeah, it's a little bit charisma, a little bit will, a little bit persuasion.
Yeah. How personable are you? Oh, damn, this is good.
Huh?
We'll get there.
Okay.
It might be a massive negative on his end. I don't know.
So this is a level 0 funnel written by Brendan LaSalle. I believe that's how he pronounces his name, Brendan LaSalle. This podcast is well known for pronouncing people's names the way they're supposed to and not going off on a deep end and a tangent.
Absolutely.
Consummate professionalism. Brendan, by the way, is an excellent ambassador for DCC. Super cool. Highly recommend you catch him on their YouTube or their Twitch. He runs all kinds of fun games. So this is something from the insane mind that is Brendan LaSalle. This is called Hole in the Sky. It is a level 0 death funnel. So it's been a little while since we've run DCC. Essentially, all of the players here will have a 0 level characters, who basically have nothing on them, no class, and it's just a question of who survives and maybe becomes a first-level character. So we begin. You are all a series of peasants, ne'er-do-wells, travelers, orphans, apparently, just various people. You don't know it to start with, but you all sort of have this same general feeling of ennui, of loss, of like this sort of just feeling that you're supposed to be doing more. You're supposed to be more than you are. And you have dreams about this.
Are we still talking about the game?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure that...
I figured this would resonate a little bit.
Sure.
Recording in 2021, the shit year, following the... continuing the pandemic.
It's supposed to be fun, not make me sad.
Oh, we're getting there.
Okay.
The fun bit comes when you get to, work out those feelings by dying horrifically.
Still.
Are we talking about the game?
That's what I asked you.
So, this is where the dreams begin. Each of your characters sort of begin to have these dreams that have sort of similar symbols, similar concepts. And again, maybe you recognize this, maybe you don't. But you begin to have dreams of an alluring woman dressed in blue finery, face shrouded in shadows, who seems to confirm that you are, in fact, what you believe for your whole lives. That destiny has been snatched from you by evil forces, that if you, sort of that whole Field of Dreams thing, if you build it, they will come kind of thing. Like, come to me, and I will make sure you can fulfill this destiny of yours, right? The dreams continue. Your characters become detached from their lives. They become upset. Family life falls apart. Whatever. Each character will experience that differently. But eventually begin to dream almost in a fever of a place. And you feel this unrelenting desire to go. You don't know where this is. You don't know what it is, but you can see it in your minds. Just sort of in your mind's eye, you see this cliff over the ocean. You just begin to go. And over time, you find others. Maybe you talk about this, maybe you don't, but pretty soon you find yourselves in a group of roughly 4 to 6 characters per player, sort of ascending these fictional cliffs of Moher or whatever. I'll get to Brendan's part that he actually wrote instead of what I'm making up. You arrive exhausted and confused at the cliff overhanging the ocean. The scene is exactly as it appeared in your dreams, and you are suddenly grateful, as this must mean that you are not insane. There at the edge of the cliff is the woman who has haunted your dreams for months, standing behind a long table, incongruously set for a banquet here in this wild place. The woman is nearly 7 feet tall, wearing tattered finery of deepest blue, and for the first time you see her face. Somehow her head is that of a statue of a woman. Her features are inanimate and softened, as if rain and wind has eroded the statue head over time. In her left hand she holds 2 severed human heads by the hair. In her right hand she holds 3. As you approach, she holds all 5 up, as if to greet you with their dead faces. Then the dead eyes open, and the 5 heads speak to you in unison, each in their own voice. Welcome, brave friends. I know you must have many questions, but let them wait for now. I know you must be exhausted from your journey. Sit, eat, and rest. All of your questions shall be answered this day. You notice that one of the heads, a pale-skinned outlander with bright red hair, speaks in a foreign tongue. Just sort of almost perfectly, this banquet table extends. It's 15, 20 feet long, more than enough. Ample places set, cutlery, china, the works. You are welcome to sit down and eat unless any character has a major objection. It is full of meats, cheeses, desserts, the finest of fruits and vegetables as best you can tell. And if you'd like to sit down and eat, we'll just move around the table and you can introduce your characters, maybe something that they're interested in eating. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go, I guess. So we all each rolled 6 characters. First up,
Lucas didn't. It was too hard.
I have an elven navigator. His name is Ahab.
Right, like you do.
Fair.
A cooper. That is somebody who makes barrels for the uninitiated. His name is Jack Daniels.
As it should.
Blacksmith named Jeremy Irons. I have an orphan whose name is Oliver Swirl. An elven barrister named Johnny Law. And a potato farmer by the name of Colin McDonald. Yes, Colin McDonald has a farm.
Perfect. Would anything any of your characters are particularly interested in doing or consuming?
Well, Oliver the orphan would be ravenously eating any and everything he could.
Okay. As you sit down, you notice that now that you're up closer to the table and your characters are sitting down, most of the food looks pristine. Like every odd dish or so, maybe it looks like it's a little off, it's a little undercooked. Maybe a couple of the apples are rotting inside the bowl. Does that deter Oliver, since you said Oliver Swirl is eating everything?
He probably would be picking at the nicer looking stuff.
Oh, sure. No, there's plenty of nice looking stuff. It's almost like, how you get that bag of apples and like they're all good at the top, but there's like one at the bottom that's a little slimy. Not bad. You can definitely eat it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that your characters would like to do? Sample, taste?
No.
Okay. Next player.
I guess I'll go next. First up on the docket is Bocephus Cletus, trapper extraordinaire.
Excellent.
He would probably be pulling fried squirrel out of his pocket because he's just gotten so used to it and he enjoys it so much.
Squirrel jerky.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Oldor Thumas, who's a weaver. Then Grimjaw Bone Snapper, who's a mercenary. And then we've got the halfling squad of Caliph, the halfling moneylender. What name is that? My writing is horrible. Norgus, the halfling trader, and then Balkrog, the halfling dyer.
Nice.
I think that they would probably, everybody but Bocephus would be amply eating, but not going crazy.
Again, they notice most of the food laid out before them is perfect. Some berries with a little bit of maybe a little green fungus on them, anything like that. Are they keeping with the good food, eating whatever's in front of them, being incredibly picky, eating their own stock?
I think that they would probably be relatively picky to things that would to jump out at them. Yeah.
Okay. Lucas.
Let's see. In my group, we have 3 elves. There is an elven forester named Fawn, an elven sage named Jax, an elven barrister named Rowan. They're probably looking for anything that is really well seasoned and tastes the best. Calcifer is my halfling gypsy. Boyd and Brutus are 2 dwarven brothers, a blacksmith and a stonemason, and they're probably not giving a shit. They're probably just eating whatever's in front of them.
So they're definitely going for whatever is in front of them, regardless of whatever. Boyd and Brutus, they pick up something that looks a little moldy and green. They devour it. It doesn't taste very good.
Cool.
But it's food.
Yeah, that's all they care about.
Any table conversation amongst the characters? Anything you want to establish before they perhaps die horrifically in this death funnel?
I mean, I suppose we just kind of be asking what brought us all here. I'm assuming, at least between the 6 of my characters, just...
Did we all see the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's the case.
We're here for the support group.
I heard there would be punch and pie.
Yeah, there's probably punch. There's also pie. Looks like there are ants crawling over the pie, but there is pie.
Brush them off.
You could. Who wants pie?
Extra protein.
All right. Throughout this all, the 7-foot-tall woman in sort of this blue gown with sort of the statue face holding these severed heads just sort of regards you very much. What's the statue in Brazil with Jesus? Is it Jesus Christ the Redeemer or whatever?
Christ the Redeemer, yeah.
It's kind of like that, arms full extension with severed heads. Relatively recently looking severed, actually.
I mean,
the stone face is just straight out, but you notice as you turn and look that the eyes on the severed heads will turn and look at you.
I mean, are they still dripping?
Maybe one of them. Maybe one of them.
Are they all human of nature?
Yes, they all do appear to be humanoid.
Okay.
well, humanoid could be other races. I mean, are they human or are they...
No, there's probably one is probably a dwarf.
Okay.
One might be an elf. You're not quite sure.
Is there any way to determine whether or not this is some sort of deity?
How would you determine that?
What would I roll on that? Intelligence, maybe?
Do you have any skills? The answer is no.
Be more specific.
Correct. You're 0-level peasants. You're 0-level peasants who have been confronted by a 7-foot-tall statue woman with severed heads. What do your peasants think?
Food.
There you go. Anything else anyone would like to do? As you kind of reach that natural conclusion, everyone sort of finished their meal. For the first time in a long time, your host speaks. Thank you, friends, for taking the dangerous journey to be here today. I know each of you, your minds and your hearts, and yet I must keep my identity veiled. If I were to even think my true name, it would instantly be sensed by our enemies, and they would race here to break our fellowship and confound our plans. Please let me be known to you as the Lady in Blue. Trust that I am a friend and am not one that would mislead you. Know this, our enemies, who are indeed the enemies of all right-thinking people of this world, have kept you from living the lives you are meant to live. Each one of you was born under the wrong stars, a misfortune fostered upon you by our enemies. But I wish to be your ally. I can set this misfortune right. If you wish to have me for an ally, I ask just this, that tonight, when the full moon reaches the top of the sky, you step off that cliff and onto an invisible bridge that does not yet exist, but shall exist tonight. This bridge will take you on a long journey across the ocean. This journey will be difficult, and some of you may not live to see its end. But those who do shall find a hole in the sky, a portal to another world. This world is a prison, and its warden is a titan, a fierce creature that cannot be slain by mortal means. This titan keeps a prisoner in a cage of alderwood. Its prisoner is our ally, and to say her name aloud would give my presence away to our enemies. At this, the lady in blue takes a cup of wine from the banquet table and carefully pours it there on the dusty ground. For a moment, you see a word written there. D-R-E-Z-Z-T-A. A moment later, a mass of beetles bubble up from the earth and devour the word. An instant later, they disappear, leaving only bare ground. Never speak the name aloud, friends. I would ask that you take this bridge tonight under the full moon to the hole in the sky. Free our ally. Those who do shall be my trusted friends, and I shall set their stars right with this. The lady in blue gestures, and you hear an immense tearing noise as if the spinning of the world was grinding to a halt. Incredibly, a seam opens in the morning sky, and you are looking through it into another world, one where a massive black monolith is the epicenter of what appears to be the mother of all storms. The wind blows so hard that you are all shoved back several feet, almost to the edge of the cliff. As your eyes adjust, you see that the monolith is actually the edge of an immense black wheel. The wheel turns slowly and seems to be made of the night sky itself. You see stars clustered in groups or shining alone in its surface. As it spins, you feel as if reality itself might slip from beneath your feet at any moment. You clearly hear every word the lady in blue speaks, despite the hurricane winds. This is the Wheel of Destiny, one of the posters of the universe. For each brave friend who adds in the rescue of our ally and returns, I shall allow them to spin it once. One time, and the true destiny you were meant for shall be yours. With a gesture, the lady closes the seam in the morning sky. The winds dissipate. You see that the remnants of your feast have all blown into the ocean.
I was eating that.
If we're meant to trust you, can you explain the 5 severed, freshly, heads in your hands there?
This is for ease of communication. Trust myself, the great forces are at work here.
Wait, so are the heads talking or is she talking?
The heads are talking in unison, 5 voices.
Okay.
I don't think we'll be doing an audio effect because I bet it would be annoying as hell.
Yeah, let's put an echo on it.
You see the heads staring at you as if waiting an answer.
So we're just gonna walk off that cliff at midnight? It's the deal?
Numerous sets of eyes of the severed heads just sort of stare at you.
Believe that's the deal.
Are there any consequences if we decide not to?
If you decide not to, I bid you adieu.
What's that last word mean?
Do what?
I do what? Do you accept this task?
Sure, why not?
Are you speaking for all of your characters, some of your characters?
All of them.
Okay. As your characters seem to say that in unison, you see that the lady approaches. Who said it first?
I'm gonna say Oliver.
The lady in blue, like gliding. You definitely don't see feet move. It's as if the whole thing just T-pose glides across, and you see the arm for the first time in the whole time you've been here, maybe a couple hours now, seems to bend, and one of the severed heads gets face to face with Oliver, and it kisses Oliver lightly on the head.
Do I feel any different?
Oliver's forehead feels wet. Not as wet as you might expect, because the lips are definitely dry and chapped, what with, being severed and all. Like, perspiring and having moist skin is somewhat of a problem when you're a severed head.
Right.
And as other characters do the same, not always the same severed head, sometimes out of the left hand, some out of the right hand, but always a severed head is moved towards the front, and they are kissed lightly on the forehead.
I think my group would, in turn, agree, and Bocephus would speak up and say, as long as this gets this damn dream out of my head.
They are similarly kissed as well. Lucas, your gang.
The first two to speak up are probably Boyd and Brutus, the brothers, who are treated a little bit, in my mind, like Timmy and Tommy Thompson from Sandlot, where like one speaks and the other just like repeats.
Sure.
And then the rest of them will agree.
As the lady in blue finishes kissing the forehead of the last one with one of her severed heads, you see the arms again stretched out, and then the lady in blue, as if melting like the Wicked Witch, just seemingly descends into the ground and vanishes beneath your feet.
Wait, how are we supposed to know when it's midnight?
Well, it's gonna be dark.
Well, yeah, but it's dark for a while.
It's like 2:00 in the afternoon right now.
Yeah.
Got ya.
Anybody got a croquet set or something?
The brothers both hold up hammers. They both have hammers. Could we use one of the heads? Oh wait, the heads are gone.
Yeah, the heads are gone. Somewhere in the pack of you, a hen clucks. Anything you folks would like to do?
So we're just on a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else around us at all.
No, like 200 feet down to the rocky base of the water.
And there's no means of civilization near.
You passed a village a couple hours back. You get the sense that if you wanted to return to the village, you could return to the village for a couple hours and then make it back by nightfall, if that's what you were attempting to do.
Find a fucking tavern or something.
It was the village of Merkin.
Merkin?
It's MH, so I'm assuming it's American.
Sure it is.
You can talk to Brendan about it.
It's not the first time Merkin came up today.
That's true.
Really? All right.
We had a brother named Merkin.
It's up to you.
Bocephus would probably just take out his sling and sit and shoot at stuff and just to try and pass the time.
Okay. Anybody else?
Fawn might hunt if it's possible to find any game to get some extra food.
Sure, you could look around. I don't know that cliffs necessarily are full of game, but you can give it a shot.
Back towards the village, probably.
Sure, yeah. Do some hunting. Anybody else want to do anything? Or are you waiting?
Grimjaw would stroke his longsword
Bet he will.
with a wedding stone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Troy, any ideas from your group?
I think there might be a couple of them that might want to wander back to town to just pass the time or something, or yeah.
Yeah, it takes a couple of hours. You do sort of descend the cliff a little bit. You see that it is a tiny fishing and trade village.
Caliph would probably go with to see if he could haggle.
Any
There are a couple of guards standing on the road into town. They just kind of look at you strangely, but it just looks like a small fishing village. You can see a marketplace. You can smell food cooking. 100 people, maybe.
any sign of a tavern or such?
There's probably a tavern of some sort, for sure. It may not be much more than somebody like serving drinks at an almost like tiki bar next to the,
Yeah.
next to the fishermen who are coming in with the day's catch.
Are we able to literally buy stuff if we've got money?
Yeah, for sure. Just depends on what it is.
Well, Caliph's definitely going to spend some money.
Yeah. The items here are limited, but yes, you get the sense that you could buy, depending on what you're looking for. You're not going to find anything beyond like useful tools and stuff. You're not going to find like a long bow or something because fishermen have no need for a long bow, but some spears, maybe some short swords, some daggers. You could buy food, drink, some rope. Obviously, they are sailors, so you're going to be able to find rope. Probably some other basic materials.
I'm assuming the general cost of most things is what, like gold piece or something? A couple?
No, so I'm going to get flint and steel. So that's like 15 copper. And then I'll end up getting also, I'll get more rations. Probably get 10 or 15 rations or so.
Sure. You didn't expect to be able to buy things, did you?
I'll buy a couple of water skins.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like this character who's got money, I'm going to spend it. So if you want to look at it, I'll have more that I don't know how much money you're working with. I had enough to actually buy armor if I wanted to, if there was armor there.
There is some, but not much.
Yeah. Like padded, I would assume. The cheapest
like
one.
Probably, they have leather armor, but they only have like a couple of sets.
Gotcha. I don't have that much gold.
Probably.
How many copper to a silver?
I don't remember. I think it's 10. But find my equipment. Should be in there somewhere. Here it is. How many copper to a silver?
Yeah.
It's pennies to a dime.
Okay.
It's pennies to a dime to a dollar. What are you looking for, Schroeder? I think this is all the same.
It is. I know what I'm going to get. I just need to look at it and check the stuff. But it'll be like flint and steel.
Leather is 20 gold.
Yeah, I can't do that. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine will be more just miscellaneous items. It's like 15 rations, a torch.
You could find a little place if you wanted to spend some copper on a drink or a silver on a drink, Troy, if that's what some of your characters wanted to do.
Yeah.
Probably find a hot meal, like fish and rice or something.
We just had a huge banquet, so I don't know that I would be hungry. But
Maybe.
Definitely a drink or two to pass the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely buying a grappling hook and a crowbar.
Whatever you want. Keep in mind that you are carrying a lot of things, so you need a place to put said things.
They will go.
Crowbar's
I'm going to buy a sack.
Crowbar's 2 GP. You got gold?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
He is a moneylender.
Oh, that's right. Expansive, though.
Yeah. Nice crowbars are hard to find.
It's always nice to pick something up off a dead body with another character that you weren't able to buy yourself.
But yeah, after a couple drinks, few hours, head back out to
Getting
the cliff
back to the evening, yeah.
side.
Yeah. You make the climb back. A little bit harder with a couple of drinks, maybe. A little more huffing and puffing.
So I spent 3 gold, 6 silver, and 102 copper, and I purchased a large sack to carry it back to the group with, 15 rations, a hammer and some iron spikes, a grappling hook, and a crowbar.
Got it. Okay. You can note that on your stuff. Anybody else anything?
So far, mostly just rations.
Okay. That's fine.
See what else is in here. Probably a couple torches.
Caleb's goal is to spread the wealth around to the group in hopes that they'll be smart enough to keep him alive.
What are iron spikes used for?
Probably to pound them into walls to grapple from. To shove under the fingernails of your enemies. Prince Albert to shove through his wang. Got a crazy idea for these ties and to have this big metal machine slide on rails. Bum, 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 bum. I feel like Iron Maiden really embodies
I was going to say, were you singing Iron Maiden?
Iron Maiden really embodies Dungeon Crawl Classics, I feel like.
Okay.
Any sort of that early metal, like before it gets real screamy, like just fast-paced, crazy guitar licks. Okay. You all return back to the cliff. It's going to continue to get darker and darker unless you choose to do anything. Sun goes down, it gets darker, the moon begins to rise in the sky. And the moon is going to continue to climb until you want to do something else.
I think Colin would be sitting there, like, throwing pebbles.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking.
The cliffside, like, every few minutes, waiting for, like, one to not just fall over the edge.
Waiting for one to bounce.
So the moon gets higher and higher, and you're kind of just tossing these off the side, feeling like a goddamn idiot. Throwing them.
Or would be there with his lantern out, so if we could actually see any light.
And then you throw one about 10 feet out, and it clatters and just sits there in space.
Hey guys, I think the bridge is there.
Bocephus would just barely go out past the cliff and drop one to see if this extends all the way to the cliff.
As you reach out and you drop one, it hits a space just 6-8 inches from the side of the cliff. And it sounds like you're dropping something on like cobblestone or gravel, and it just floats in midair right there.
6 or 8 inches out from the...
Yeah, I'm presuming you weren't tossing it.
My goal is I want to know if there's a gap between where the bridge starts and where the cliff is.
At no point do you see any of this.
Yeah.
Like, it is, in fact, invisible.
I'll throw, like, sand out, like a wide array. Like, do I get a sense of how wide this...
It could take you a minute, but yes, I think you could get a sense of it. It appears to be... It does start right at the edge. It appears to be about 20 feet wide.
Okay. I think, like, I will gather some sand up and, like...
I've got a large sack to carry with us.
Continuously be throwing it out to make sure, like, it doesn't... Like...
Yeah, we can just get a big, large sack, because I can put all the other stuff in the backpacks of my other characters.
Yeah.
And we just have a bag of sand with us.
Or pebbles or whatever.
Yeah, to make sure the bridge doesn't turn on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, legitimate fear. You can take some time to get some sand. Lucas, anything you or your characters want to do?
Following the guy with the sand at this point.
So is the guy with the sand leading?
Probably a good idea.
I would imagine the guy with the lantern and the guy with the sand.
Yeah.
So who steps out on the bridge foot?
Jack.
Plummets to his death.
Awesome.
Next character. No.
Couldn't fit on the plank of wood.
So Jack steps out, and you put what feels like heavy cobblestone underfoot. I mean, it feels like a bridge.
I'll sit there and like a couple times stamp my foot down just to like more to demonstrate to everybody else that there is actually something here.
No, it feels like, I mean, it feels solid. Like when you hit it, it's not like it's, you feel some weight to it. There's not any way for you to know. I guess you could dribble sand, but you get the sense that there is some structure to this. It's not like an invisible plank or something. There is like a solid cobblestone bridge underneath you that is invisible. But yeah, you put one foot out, and if you're brave enough, Jack puts another foot out, and he steps right on the sand that's floating in the sky.
Look, Mom, flying.
I guess we'll start to kind of line up and head out.
Who's the last character?
I feel like all of my folks would be pretty, or be not non-hesitant, so.
I'll probably say my group is pulling up the rear between the three groups. So, Jax is the elven sage, the last character to step off.
Okay. You all step onto this bridge. You carry forward with your sack of sand. What exactly is your plan? It's very heavy.
I figured multiple characters can.
It's
between
very
the two
heavy.
of them.
You're probably more dragging it than you are carrying it, because I imagine it's quite heavy and feels like it might burst, because sand is not light.
Yeah. Well, there's a large sack of sand, and the guy with the lantern, they're probably up front, throwing it to make sure they can still see the sand.
Are you trying to do, like, are you walking a little bit and then throwing a handful and walking a little bit and then throwing a handful?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Whenever we start to see the sand disappear, they chuck a handful and
Yeah.
Fair enough.
keep doing the same process.
You begin to move. Lucas.
Yeah.
Can you make me, now with your rolls, you kind of treat them as a full set of characters. So a lot of times in this case, I need your best intelligence roll.
That would be Brutus. He's got a +1.
Okay, so you roll and add 1.
Right. It is D20 in this game, right?
Yes.
It's a 16.
Okay. So you're moving along. You guys are kind of moving, probably not at a fast pace, obviously, but you're kind of investigating and throwing. It seems like the bridge is rising. You are going uphill at a pretty quick clip, actually. Brutus happens to, as he's moving, kind of looks back, and as he's gotten a little way from the edge, that giant handful of sand that they put right at the beginning, Brutus happens to turn back, and he watches that sand fall and just float its way all the way down to the ocean.
Am I watching it start to go down as if dominoes, as if each and every sort of 2 foot space starts to go down?
You just sort of see the right there at the edge, it just...
Okay.
Anything you'd like to do?
Brutus will call up as loud as he can to the front. Appears that the bridge at the cliff is crumbling. Perhaps we should move a bit faster.
Is it actually feel like we're going up? Is it more work to walk up?
You're climbing uphill.
I just didn't know if there was if gravity was not affecting us, but we're seeing us go higher, but we're not actually feeling.
Oh no, you're feeling it. It's
Okay.
like you're climbing a hill.
Okay,
You're
Okay.
climbing a pretty solid gradient.
let's start jogging.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll pick up the pace then.
Okay. Brutus sees,
Faster.
and then a little later a little later.
Faster, you bastards!
All right, that's an interesting development. Okay, carrying along. You probably all eventually get tired. You continue to rise. You at this point probably are forced to walk, like moving faster. Like
Yeah.
you now have been
The air
maintaining
is
pretty
probably
quick.
thinning.
You're not like shooting up into space, but you're definitely going higher than the cliffs are. Like
Right.
but you keep moving through the night, unless you want to stop and camp.
No.
No.
Not if it's crumbling.
Dawn begins to break. The day is sunny and the air is quite cold. You now no longer can see land in the back towards you.
It's fair.
So we're just out over open ocean.
Yes, you believe that you have climbed somewhere in the range of a half mile above the ocean.
Okay.
I would presume, depending on how much you're using the sand is probably becoming less fairly significantly.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything you'd like to do?
Start using blood.
As we're running out of sand, I think Bokrug would move up to the front because he's got a staff and he could just kind of tap in front of him as he
Yeah, I
walks.
was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, Colin's got a pitchfork, so he's just.
So does Fawn. Fawn's got a staff as well.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean,
Tap
if
up.
you're standing 3 abreast, then you kind of presume that everybody occupies a 5-foot square. You can kind of slide back and forth. You march on into the day. It's now noonish.
Still just walking?
Oh, yeah. No, it doesn't. Nothing seems to happen.
I mean, we'd be walking as long as we need to be walking. I mean,
There have not been any twists or turns whatsoever, right?
You notice every once in a while that there's a slight nudging to the left and to the right, just enough to make you uncomfortable.
Right, but we don't have the inclination that like there's a branch.
No,
this
this isn't like Super Mario where suddenly it takes a hard right and there's, like an old Mario Kart where
Right.
you just fell off. No, nothing like that.
Gotcha. Your son was playing something up there earlier.
Mario Party.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's getting dark. It's the end of a day on the bridge. You're probably incredibly exhausted.
Do we see any land in the horizon?
No, God, no.
I imagine with the fear of the bridge falling behind us that we would soldier on until
I don't think we have a
absolute
choice.
exhaustion.
If we stop and wait too long, we're just going to start falling off.
It's either that or there's only a certain amount.
Right.
And as we step forward, it's following us.
Right.
I suppose that's
We keep a little. I think Bocephus would have kept a little bit of extra stand in case we need to stop and rest. We could throw it behind us to make sure if something does fall, we know we got to go.
Brutus can take his hammer and just kind of tap a little bit at the back end.
Okay.
Just like, tap, tap. If it's there, take a step. Tap, tap. If it's there, take it until he finds like an end.
Correct. You tap, 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 whoosh. There's nothing at that exact point.
How far from the group am I at that point?
50, 60 feet.
Okay, rushes back and tells everyone that we have roughly a 50 to 60 foot span behind us before it reaches us.
And when Brutus saw it originally falling away, how far off was that?
Ish.
Okay. So
it's been
it's not recreating itself going backwards, fellas, or all of us, fam. It's push forward or die.
Or push forward and die.
Also, yes.
Ha!
I would probably maybe say, hey, let's pause for a moment
And then go check it again.
and check it. Like we'll send somebody to both extremes, throw a little sand to the front to see until it falls. Well, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah,
Because
because
it may pull the whole thing.
I would throw the sand in the back to watch
Yeah.
it fall.
Just send somebody to the back, throw some sand down, wait a minute and see if it falls. If we don't move forward and see if what happens.
If you throw some sand on the bridge and you do not move forward, nothing appears to happen to the sand.
Okay.
okay.
All right, so it is based on movement, so that's
Yeah.
a plus.
So then I would at that point urge to
Take a rest.
take a rest. Yeah.
Okay.
You can rest through the night unless there's anything you want to do specifically.
Keep watch on the sand.
Yeah, keep tossing it every hour or so, just to make sure it hasn't shortened the path.
The path does not appear to have changed.
All right, that's good to know. But it is a one-way trip.
Yeah, as far as we're aware.
Well,
You wake up the next day. It's much colder and cloudy. Chilly wind.
Ah, shit. Off we go. Tap, tap, tapping away.
Tap, tap, taparoo. It begins to rain, almost sleet as you go.
Nice.
are we still going up?
No, you've leveled out after the first day.
Okay.
By about noon yesterday, you were leveled out and moving basically in a straight line.
Okay. I would probably, again, urge that every so often, let's maybe try to pick up the pace, run a little bit, jog a little bit or whatever, just to get this over as quickly as we can.
Do we at all see the hole in the sky?
Nothing that you can tell.
Okay.
It's still nothing but ocean below us.
Oh yeah, nothing but ocean below you.
Ocean or lotion?
Yes.
One's softer.
At this height, everything's as thick as concrete.
Yeah.
Depends on if there's coconut oil in that lotion. I guess you don't.
Figure out what you're looking for.
Yeah, no. So
Yeah,
you
no or no, yeah. Midwestern response.
You continue moving over the bridge. The rain is not abating. If anything, it's getting stronger. And then there is a sudden, strong, unexpected gust of wind. What I was looking up is how to roll luck checks. Every character needs to make a luck check.
Gross.
You need to take a d20 and roll under your luck score. Meet or under.
Really?
Yup. Because the
That's
more
different.
lucky you are, the easier it is to do.
Huh.
Pass.
Bocephus passes.
Fail.
Pass by 1.
Pass.
Oldor rolled a 20.
Ooh, that sounds like a fumble.
I'm putting X's by the ones that failed.
We'll deal with that one.
I'm drawing a skull. Damn, that's not good either. That was a 19. And his luck was a 17. F this dice.
I have 3 passes and 3 failures.
It's a pass.
None of them were 20s or 1s.
And that is an odd one.
Okay.
Wait,
So
is this
one-
reverse? I don't remember. Is this reverse? Is 1 good?
For the luck score, you want to roll under your luck.
Just luck only, though.
Yes.
Not- okay, yeah. It's not True Bang where everything is reversed. That's why I'm trying to. It's been a while.
Do we still add the bonus or
Not if you're trying to
no,
roll
it's
under
just
your
under
score.
the score.
okay?
I literally failed on my character with a 17 luck.
Oof.
So we'll get to the critical failure in a second because we got to do something with that.
I had two fails.
2 fails there,
3 and 3.
3 and 3. So for those who failed, and this includes your fail, we're gonna wait for the critical fail yet. Well, also remember you had a critical success, so we'll worry about that in a second.
Okay.
For the fails, just the straight fails, you need to make reflex saves. DC 10.
Is that agility?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Fuck. My guy who crit fails
But
has
for
a
this one,
negative
we
on his
for this one we
agility.
want a 10 or above, right?
Correct.
Not under. Okay.
So we want a 10 or above.
Correct.
Woohoo! 17.
It's a nat 20 on that one.
We will keep track of both of those nat 20s.
Do I roll?
And a pass.
I roll a reflex save for the dude who crit also. We're not. Or are we just playing that some other way?
No, we don't have to worry about that. We'll wait for the critical fumble.
Okay.
Okay.
Did anybody fail?
I have 1 failure.
Okay. Did any one of yours fail?
No.
Okay.
My
worry
my
about-
guy who didn't fumble passed.
Okay. So we only have 1 failure of a reflex save. So as this wind and sleeting rain comes flying up, who failed, Lucas?
Calcifer, the halfling gypsy.
You all see Calcifer, who I presume is bedecked in robes and other such things, little tinkling bits of jewelry and whatnot, you know. You see all of the characters who failed get pushed almost as if a hand is trying to shove them towards the edge. You see Calcifer, the gypsy, go flying over it. Every other character that passed, now hold on before you write an X, every other character seems to grab the ledge.
Okay.
The 2 20s, if they want, I think can make another save at a harder DC to try and save Calcifer.
Okay.
If they want to. We'll do this one at a time. If they don't succeed,
Well, Rowan would want to, since Calcifer is part of my party.
all right, I will
is that-
increase the DC and you can roll another reflex save because now you're
Now it's-
sliding off. You grabbed expertly. Now you're going to try and reach out and grab that person who's
So
about
it's based
to die.
on Rowan's agility.
Correct.
What's the DC, I guess, is the question.
That you tell me what you got because I put it in my head.
It's a 9.
Well, 9 is
Probably not
going
going to be
pass.
good enough.
No.
So the X is perfectly applicable at this point. Calcifer's
No, not
gone.
if other people try
Unless
to
you
say-
try
Yeah,
to say
I would try to. No.
Calcifer's gone.
So, here's the thing, though. There's got to be a cost here to this. So,
Isn't the cost that I lost a character?
Not to the guy who took one hand off the ledge.
correct.
All right.
So I like to imagine Rowan went for the gypsy. Rowan missed the gypsy. The gypsy is gone. Rowan is now falling off the edge. You also reach for the gypsy. You are also starting to fall now. You barely have a grip. So, gypsy gone. Rowan is
Teetering.
headed for the
dangling?
ground. Yes, dangling is probably the best. And who for you?
Colin.
Colin, the potato farmer.
Not Colin the orphan.
No, he was the
not the orphan.
potato.
The farmer.
Whoop, 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 whoop. You're like grabbing the edge. You're barely sliding. We need to get back to this critical fumble and the critical success.
Yep.
The critical success apparently braced and is good.
Okay.
So the critical success can take an action. And I'm going to let you take whatever action you want. And because it's a critical success, you can roll with a D24.
Ooh.
So if you'd like to make some sort of agility check, if you want to save someone, both of these two are going down. Your other character is in mortal peril as well. What would you like to do with your D24, if anything? You've got Rowan, you've got Old MacDonald, and that character is... I haven't really decided what I want to do with him yet, but it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's not. Just put it next to it.
Well, I get the sense that he was sort of like... When the gust of wind happened, he was sort of...
Well, he's a weaver, and what he has on him is he's wearing a fine suit of clothing and has, like, lots of fabric. So I imagine it just tore him off
It's
like
a fucking parachute. It's just like a parachute.
It's literally
He is gone.
it just gusted and yanked him.
No, 1,000%. It inflated like a parachute, and he's sliding at rapid speed to the other end of the bridge and is going off the edge with the sand.
Yeah.
What?
So
is
you
your
can
favorite
sprint
color?
down there and try and save that guy, or you can maybe save one of these two.
Well, this character, what he has on him is a badger pelt.
All right, perfect.
So I would imagine him at least extending it out for them to try and grab a hold of.
To whom?
Who are my choices? McDonald.
It's fine. McDonald or Rowan?
I don't know what's Rowan
straight-
again?
Elvin. Wait, which one is he? Elvin Barrister.
Oh, yeah, we're going with McDonald.
Strength check.
Oh, that's not good for me.
You got a D24. So what does that do for him?
It makes it more likely he rolls a higher number.
Okay. Yeah. That's
I was
fair.
hoping it was going to be off agility and not strength, and I'm a moron. Okay.
Oof, that's a single digit on D24.
You swing out the beaver pelt. McDonald grabs it, and as he grabs it, the beaver and the tail separate into two pieces, and McDonald goes spinning off into the distance.
Okay. Sorry, tried.
It's all good.
Does Rowan get another save, or is he gone as well? He was dangling, not let
I
go
appreciate
completely.
Rowan's attempt at heroicism. I'll give him a strength.
Strength save.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll call it a DC 13.
Let's use
He kicks up off the wall of the bridge.
At
That's
this point, it's
invisible.
like, can he keep grip?
Yeah.
It's a 15 on the die, no modifier.
So yeah, no, you... Boop, 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 boop. Meanwhile, someone is parachuting away to their death. Another person is, falling beside you, and somehow he grabs a hold and lifts himself back up.
Okay.
Well, there goes my future thief.
He might have parasailed somewhere safely.
Maybe. Or I see him just parasailing down and then being eaten by sharks.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
1,000%. Some horrific goddamn anglerfish leaps out and just one bite, gone.
Yeah.
He lands in the water and waves at you. I'm okay. Just straight down.
Yeah.
Calcifer's like, I hex you all.
I'm so glad that Grimjaw passed. He could be such a good character.
I mean, the character with the second to lowest HP just fell off, and I'm fine with it.
You begin
My character with the highest HP fell off.
Yeah, that does suck.
You begin trudging forward. It rains. It sucks. It's slippery. Your pace probably slacks a little bit. Pocket sand at this point is useless. Does anybody have a particularly low stam?
Low?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody have stamina of 7 or lower?
Fuck.
Yep,
I got
no.
one.
If you have
8 is my lowest.
if you have stamina of 7 or lower, please make me or no, sorry. You begin to shiver uncontrollably in the wind. You begin to sneeze.
Oh, wait. No, I looked at the wrong thing. I apologize. I looked
So-
at the modifier. My 0 looked like a 6. He has an 11.
Who is your character, Troy?
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons is sneezing. is uncomfortable, is wheezing, is just frigid. Because
Jeremy Irons is wont to do.
the rain does not slack off. The chilly wind does not stop until nearly midnight when you probably stop for a rest. It rained for a full 12 to 14 hours.
Balkrog would offer you 3 yards of fabric to wrap yourself in, because I have another character with 3 yards of fabric.
It helps.
Sure.
After seeing the other guy parachute away, he probably doesn't want the fabric anymore.
That's probably why he's giving it to him.
It's just a straight Disney thing. Like, it's great.
You feel yourself begin to get sick. You're uncomfortable. You're cold. You feel as if, should you get into combat or make ability checks or skill checks, those will all be affected until you feel better.
Okay.
So we can get to that. But basically right now it's a -1 penalty on attack, damage, ability checks, and skill checks.
So do we each just lose one character so far? Is that...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. You sleep through the night. The next day is similarly cold and windy. Just heading out. By noon, you see, probably on sort of a rocky outcropping or something, you see like a shipwreck. Massive, 3-masted ship sort of broke up on this sort of rocky crag in the middle of nowhere. And you see these birds, ? Swirling around. The path that you're currently on will take you right over the top of this shipwreck. And
We're still a half a mile off the water.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
And as you begin to walk closer and closer, you see these things which are much larger than birds, significantly larger than birds. Brendan writes them as both warty and odious. Take flight and zoom upwards toward your position, cawing and screeching.
So we should have started with more than 6 characters, is what you're telling us.
I believe we should call for probably initiatives at this point. So at this point, take your character still alive with the best initiative and roll that. That's when all your characters will
What's
act.
initiative based on? I have these R, F, and W things, and none of those are filled in. I don't know what they're for.
Your reflex, fort, and will saves?
Yeah, I don't know what those are for. Because it wasn't in the character creation.
Well, they would be plus your bonus for the applicable skill.
I don't know what those are.
Reflex is
would be
probably agility. Fort is probably
Stamina.
stamina, and
Luck
will
will is
is performance.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
How is initiative determined?
I'm trying to remember. In the books I gave you
it's right there.
I think it's roll plus agility mod.
Yep.
So that special ability that I have, Speed of the Cobra, which adds to initiative, that
Basically, you're going to add another bonus to that initiative.
so this character has a -1 agility, but I think it's +2 because of
It depends on the luck score, I think.
his luck score is 17.
So yeah, that's a +2.
No, that's a yeah, I think it is a +2.
16 is +2, yeah.
Yeah. So overall, he has a +1.
So yes, that would be +1 to his initiative.
Okay, then we're not going to roll with him because I got a guy with +2 to his with agility.
Okay. So we're looking at our agility modifiers. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready for the numbers.
I can do it. Whatever.
15.
18.
Nice.
A gentleman's 7.
Or kind of what I expected, honestly.
Have you tried this?
What's your
I don't know.
initiative modifier, Lucas? You have a bonus?
I don't really care.
Just asking. I'm sorry, what?
What, you have a modifier for your initiative? A bonus? A plus?
It's a plus for +1.
So you rolled a 6, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, 6 + 1. Yes.
You all appear to see these sea shrikes coming, these warty, bloated, nasty-looking things like they're out of the Dark Crystal.
Oh no, sorry. That. That's my guy that died. I apologize. It's just straight 6. My apologies. I'm gonna scribble out his stats so I don't confuse that again. It is a 6.
Oh yeah, dead guy is dead.
Ted Guy is dead.
Ted Guy is dead. Troy, you see these things zooming up with murderous intent in their eyes.
Like straight underneath us, like they're gonna smack the bridge.
No, they
Or they're
seem
coming
to
up,
be.
and
They
then
seem
they're-
to be. They seem to be. Flight of the Valkyries, swooping up 3 on one side, 4 on the other, is if they will perfectly come around on both sides of the bridge.
In a pincer maneuver.
Correct, a midair pincer.
They seem to be aware of the bridge.
You get the sense that yes.
How
they
many
are.
of them are there?
There are 7.
Oh, jeez.
Our title track, Bustin' Loose with Lead, is used under Creative Commons Attribution 4 International License and was produced by Jason Shaw at Audionautics.com. Like what you just heard? Let us know on Twitter at Rancors_Brothel or send us a message on Facebook at the Rancors Brothel page. Want more content? Subscribe to our podcast on any major platform or visit rancorsbrothel.com for hundreds of other RPG actual play podcast episodes. Enjoy sharing memes and talking nerdy? Hit up other listeners on the Fans of the Rancors Brothel Facebook page. Thanks for listening. Keep circulating the tapes.